Hi, and welcome to my first video tutorial. This is going to be the first of a series of tutorials that I will publish that will show you how to actually build your own startup without knowing how to program. So in this one, I will specifically show you how to create your own shop using Shopify. This is actually the store that I created before, just to give you a better idea what your actual store can look like. So up here we have a slider, we have the products of the week, and we have more shop information, including the newsletter. So you can click on each of the individual products and you will receive more information. Here you can see the price just dropped from $40 to $25. So this could make it more interesting for a potential customer. Let's start by looking at the Shopify main website and sign up for an account. In this case, we choose the online store. And we click next. Now we fill in our information. So Shopify wants to make sure that they can offer us their best service. So they actually ask us a couple of questions like, do you already have products? In this case, I'm just playing around, but you would obviously choose whichever option is the right one for you. So what will you sell? Again, I'm not sure yet, so I just chose this option. And I'm setting up a store for myself, so I don't have to check this box. After you created an account, you will see this page. This page is the dashboard. So on this dashboard, on the left, we see the menu, which I will talk about later. And in the main area, they show you 3 steps that you need to take in order to launch your store. So let's actually start by looking at the store that we just created. So I would do this by just opening up a new tab. Right click and open a new link in Chrome. You might have a different browser, so it might say something similar, but you know how it works. So this is the web store that we just created. Already looks pretty nice. However, we don't really have any products in here, and we probably want to change a little bit of the design. So let's move back onto our dashboard. So the first thing we want to do on our dashboard is to add a product. So we click on Add Products, and now we choose a title. So adding a red blouse. And here we can fill in a description. Then we want to add the type. So in this case, the type I would give is probably just blouse. This becomes interesting when you have a big store with like many different products and many different types. So the vendor in this case is just myself. So I would just add like probably my name. Next, we want to choose the price. The price, I'm just going to say it's going to cost $25 and it's on markdown from $30. So typically a SKU is associated with any purchasable item in the store. So for example, the blouse of a particular style and size might have a SKU of some particular number and added a size at the end. So for example, I'm just gonna say like the SKU of this particular item is 1000 and L. So 1000 is just an arbitrary number that I want to give this item, and the L stands for the size. In this case, we also want to charge for taxes, and we always require a shipping address because we want to make sure that we can only ship to people in the United States. The inventory allows us to have Shopify track our inventory or not to track it at all. So the difference is maybe you're selling an ebook or like any type of digital goods. So you probably have an infinite amount of the ebooks that you can sell. However, if you're selling bracelets, you only have a fixed amount of bracelets. So say for the blouse, our quantity is 3. So after we sold 3 of the blouses, it will be shown as sold out, or it just won't be available anymore for anyone else to purchase. This makes it actually very, very easy for us to make sure that no one sends us money and we cannot ship the item for them. So we can also determine if this product has multiple options. So for example, let's say we wanna offer this blouse in different sizes. For example, we have one in large, we have one in small, and that's fine already. We can always add more options, for example, the color, the material, the style, or we can create a completely new option that's not mentioned yet. So the next step is to add an image, or multiple images. In this case, I just choose an image that I have already created. So I choose the red blouse image. And next we can add this product to a collection. So a collection could be, for example, I could create a collection called blouses. And in this blouses collection, I would just add all the products which are blouses. So that would allow the user to easily sort and search through your site. It's basically like a category. However, we can also add this product to the collection front page, which adds the product to the front page. So after we added the product to our front page, we want to give it a couple of tags. So in this case, I want to give it the tag blouse and red. Again, this makes it much, much easier for your customer to search for products. Now, if someone enters blouse into the search on your website, this product will show up. The same for the keyword red. And because we want to make sure that search engines can find us, we can specify a better title, the meta description, and if we want to change the URL, we can do this as well. So I will actually explain the search engine optimization for your web shop in later tutorials. So for now, I will just leave it by the title that you gave this product, and the meta description and the URL can also stay the same. The visibility allows you to decide whether or not you want to show this product right now, if you want to show it at a later point, or if you want to hide it completely. And now we click Save. And we just added our first product to our store. So let's go ahead and add another product. So in this case, we have a black blouse. We add the description again. The type is already filled in. The vendor is already filled in this case. This one we actually want to sell for $20. And it's on sale from $24. And the SKU this time, because I already added a blue blouse as well, it's going to be 1003 in large. Charge taxes, require the shipping address. We also want to track the inventory again. This time we have quantity of 2. And again, we have multiple options. So we want to add the size as large and small. For the black blouse, choose the image. And again, add it to our front page. So for the text, I'm just going to add blouse, black. And we leave everything the same here. You can obviously modify it if you like, but just for the purpose of showing this, it should be fine like this. And we want it to be visible as of now. So now we're done adding products. So we can go back to our dashboard. Here we already have a nice preview of our web store, how it looks currently. But let's open it up if you still have the tab open, else just click view your website or open it up in a new link. So in this case, I'm just going to refresh it. And there we go. There are 3 products and still all the other information that we will look at in a little bit. So let's go back to our web store. So now we have 2 more steps to go. So let's see what the next step is. The next step is to customize the look of your store. So we have multiple options to do that. Let's first look at the edit theme. This basically allows you to edit the design of the store, so you can change the overall look and feel of your store. So we could add a custom logo if we want to, or a custom icon. The icon would show up here. We can upload this. Then we can choose the alignment of the logo. Maybe you want it on the left side, the right side, or any other place on our website. And now I just want to demonstrate what these options are for. So we can change the background color of our store. Let's say we want to make it red. We obviously don't want to do that, but let's just try it out. We can always preview it in a new window. So let's open it up and see what it looks like. So now everything is in red. We can expand it a little bit again. I don't think we like that. So let's change the color back to white. Okay, and now we can preview it again. Here's our web store. I think it already looks pretty nice. So as you can see, we can change almost all colors of the website. I think we can even change all colors of the website. So we have the navigation links, we have the text color, the heading text, and many, many more different fields like the button text color. We can also change the font of our website. Maybe we don't like this font, so we want to change it to Open Sans, for example, and the heading to something else, Merryweather. We can also use an image for the background, so it doesn't have to be a color. Maybe you want to use some beautiful image that you found on the internet. You can choose to show a search box, which we want to do, and there are many different options that you can also choose to change. You can create a slideshow, and here by adding various photos, I will show that in a little bit. And there's even more features for the product page, the collection page, and many, many more. But you can try those out on your own. So let's actually move on to something that I think is really, really cool. We can download a theme from the Shopify theme store and automatically install it on our own store. So let's try this out. Open up the link. And we want to choose only the free designs. So let's look for something nice. I think I like this one. So we want to click on Get Theme. In this case, I have it up here. And I want to copy it. So I paste it in this field. You can see it shows the entire URL of my store, or the web address of my store. And now we click on Login. Now it asks us, do we really want to install this theme? And we can do this by publish it as my shops theme. So we go ahead and do this. Now it's downloading and installing the theme in our store, so this takes a little bit. And now it should be ready and installed. So this is the theme manager. You can always make some changes to the theme if you don't like it. And if you're an advanced user, you can also directly change the HTML and CSS code of this theme. So let's see how it looks like with the new theme in our store. I'm just going to refresh it. And this is what it looks like. So it even explains to us like how can we add images to the slideshow. So let's go ahead and do this. Our products are still here. So let's go back to our web store, and we're looking at and now we're looking for the slideshow entries. So let's look where those are. Let's see if they're in homepage. I think this looks good already. So for slide 1, we want to choose one of our slideshow images. In this case, I already prepared images, and you would obviously use your own. So let's select image 1, slide image 2, and a third one. That should already be enough for my store. But you see, you can obviously add much more things. And we want to save it. So let's see what it looks like. We reload the page, and there are our images. The slideshow is working, and here are our products and other entries. So what entries do we actually need? I don't want the blog to be shown on my front page. I also want to remove the categories and this browse area. I also want to remove this one. So how can we do that? We can probably find more information again under our theme settings. I show you how you get there again. You just go to the navbar and you click on themes. You choose theme settings. And these entries are on the front page, so we want to choose home page. The slideshow is working, so we're not going to touch this. The product slider, but we want to remove the collection list. We also want to remove the blog by clicking on disable, or just removing the checkmark from the enable. And we also want to remove the browse. So let's save it one more time. And let's look again at our web store. We reload the page. Let's wait a second and see if the slideshow changes automatically. That looks good. And we removed all those additional entries that we don't like on our front page. So let's go back to our web store dashboard and see what we have to do next. We want to choose the dashboard here. And we're only one step away from our launch. So now we need to register a custom website address. So we do that by choosing Add a Domain. And then we have the option of either choosing an existing domain, which we can choose here, or we create a new one or buy a new domain. In this case, we want to go ahead and buy a new domain. So we click the Buy Domain button, and we want to register a new domain name. And this input field allows us to check the availability of our domain. So I'm just going to show it. I'm not going to go ahead and buy a domain, as I don't want to keep my web shop. I just want to show you how it works. So let's see if this domain is still available. And we want to register it as a new domain name. And we click Check Availability. And this domain name is available. And now we can go ahead and set up our payment method. So we first have to make sure that we read the policies and the domain registration agreement. And then we would move on to the next page where we set up our payment method. I'm going to skip this in this case because I don't want to set up a new domain name. So after we bought our domain or we added an existing domain, we're ready for the launch. So we would now select a plan to open our store. I would recommend to choose the basic plan, which is $29 a month. I think this gives you a pretty good idea of whether you like your store or you want to look for a different solution. Okay, so I actually switched to my other store to show you what happens next. So after you chose your plan, you're back at your dashboard, but now your dashboard looks a little bit different. So this area that says Ready to Sell allows you to enter additional information that you need to completely launch your store. So you want to make sure that you enter your banking information so you can start collecting payments. I already determined the shipping rates and the tax rates have been set for me. And you also want to remove your store password. So I forgot explaining this to you. When you're at your web store, you currently have a password that your customers have to enter before they see your store. Shopify added this function because right now you want to make sure that everything is working before anyone can go to your store. So whenever you're ready, you go to this website. You would do it down here. I have not picked a plan yet, so in this case I cannot remove the password. Just to make sure that I explain it correctly, you need to select a plan to remove the password from your web store. So let's go back to our admin, which is also the dashboard. So let's go over the dashboard. I first minimize this, and this is where it becomes really interesting. So we can see that today we had 0 orders. Yesterday we also had 0 orders. This is because my store is not live and no one is actually buying anything. I hope for you these numbers will be much, much higher and that you have a lot of orders a day. So let's look at the visitors. Here you can see how many visitors did you have at a given time and given day on your website. So for example, I can see that on the 3rd, I had 1 visitor at 5 p.m. Also interesting are the traffic sources. You can see how many users come directly to your website by entering your store's web address or URL. You can also see how many people were referred to your website, maybe because someone else is linking to your store. Search engines shows you how many people did find your store through Google or Bing or some other search engine. The top referrals will show you which websites are actually sending the most customers to your website. Down here we have a graph of all the sales that we have. In my case, this is 0. And we can track the conversions on our website. What's the percentage of people checking out that added an item to their cart? And how many people actually purchased at the end? And What are my top sellers? Which products are performing best in my store? And down here, we would decide the payout schedule. When do we want Shopify to send payouts to our bank account or our PayPal account, for example? So let's look at a couple of more entries from the navigation on the left side. Let's next go to orders. And this is where all your orders would show up. And I just have one example here, so this is about what it would look like. Here we have the order identification number, we have the time and date when the order or the product was purchased, the name and if it was paid. We also see if we fulfilled this order already and the amount for which the customer has purchased the item or the collection of items. The customer tab allows us to browse through our customers and directly contact them and make sure that everything is okay with their shipment, for example. We can always go ahead and add a customer, or we can also import customers, for example, from Excel. We have already seen the Products tab, which allows you to add additional products. In this case, I want to keep it at 3 because I just want to show you how it actually works. And you can obviously always open them up and edit the products. For example, I could say, instead of calling this black blouse, I want to call it blouse noir. And save it. Next, let's look at collections. So collections, as I described, is basically like your categories. You can always add a new collection. In this case, we only have one, which is the front page. So everything that's shown on our front page. And I think that should be fine for now. By choosing discounts, we can add a coupon code. So we would click on add discount. And in this case, let's say we want to add the coupon code summer 14. And we can decide if we want to limit how many times the account can be used. So in this case, we want to do that and say this account can only be used 4 times. We also can choose the type of discount we want to give. And in this case, we want to give a 10% discount on either all orders. We can also choose that we want to specify the discount for a collection or a category. And we can also do that just for a specific product. So for example, we can say we only want to give the 10% discount on our blue blouse. But let's say we want to do this for all orders. Down here we can determine if this discount expires or not. So for example, by default, the never expires is checked, but we can also say this discount is going to expire 1 week from today. So let's save it. So here we can see our discount code, and no one has used it right now, and we can always keep track of it. Like this is 10% off, and this is when it starts and when the coupon expires. We can also always delete it or disable it if we like to. Another option is to sell gift cards on your store. I cannot show this because I first have to upgrade to either the professional or unlimited plan. This is not included in the starter plan. So if you wanna offer gift cards, you need to choose either the professional or unlimited plan. I think gift cards can be a very good option for your customers, especially around Christmas time. This can be a good option to bring in additional revenue. So this is what it would actually look like. You could directly send out an email with the gift card and they can print it at home and give it to someone for Christmas, for example, or they can always keep it just as the email. Let's next look at the reports. Under reports, we can see all the products that we sold. We can order those by name, by SKU, or the traffic source. So it becomes really interesting for you to track, oh, which product is selling the most, and from what source do the people or the customers come that buy the most products? Do they come from, for example, Facebook, or do they come through Google? How do they find you? You can see all those information here. Under orders, you can see how many total sales did you make this month. You can also order those by the months, by the billing address, like which person bought the most. You can sort it by the customer, and down here you can also look at the various payment methods that were used and the total payments. Then we have the tax rate, the traffic sources, how your site is doing, and the cart analysis. I actually want to show you the cart analysis because I think it's a great feature to look at. The cart analysis gives you really great insights about your customers. So the examples here are already really good. Next, I want to show you how you can create and add blog postings to your website. So you click on blog posts, and by default there is an entry already. Yours might have a different name. I just go ahead and delete this blog post because I don't want it in my store, and now the page should look like this. So we click on add a blog post, and we call this one welcome to my blog, and let's say thanks for visiting us. So if you have more users in your store, you can always choose the author of the blog. In this case, it's just myself, and I want to post it under the category news. Again, I can add text to this blog posting. This would allow my users to really easy find the blog entries if they search for something specific. So this one, I just want to add the tag welcome. And again, we have the option to make it really friendly for search engines and easy for customers to find us through Google, for example. But we will look into that in a later tutorial. And we want to make this blog posting visible as of right now. And next we want to save it. Let's take a look at our store and see what the blog posting looks like. We want to choose blog from the navigation on our page. And here's our first blog post. Often when you have a store, many of your customers ask you the same questions. So I always like to create a frequently asked questions page or an FAQ page. Now I'm going to show you how you can actually do this. So let's go ahead and add our FAQ page. So maybe your customers would ask you, oh, do you also ship outside the US? And if you see this very frequently, you would add this question and you can also answer it on this page. So let's do that. And we also ship to Germany. Again, we can make it really search engine friendly, but we do that later in a different tutorial. And we can also change the visibility to hide this page, but in this case we want to show it. And let's save it. So for our FAQ page to show up in our navigation, we first need to add it to our navigation. So to do that, we choose navigation. And we want to add it to the main menu. So we add it to the link list. And we want to add another link. So in this case, we want to say FAQs, which is a page. and we specify the page. In this case, it's FAQs. We save it. And now we can see what it looks like in our store. Let's refresh the page. And here's our FAQs. Next, every store should have a contact page. So let's add that page quickly. Again, we click on Add Page. Here we say Contact Us is the title. And we can actually leave this field empty because we just want to show a contact form. You can obviously write some friendly message, but in this case, we just want to add a contact form. So we do this down here under Templates, and we choose the contact template. We save the page. Next, we have to add it to the navigation again. We want to add it to our main menu. We want to add another link, which we call Contact Us. And it is a page. And here's our Contact Us form. So we save it again. And we can take a look at it on our homepage. So here's the Contact Us page. You can also see how the design now nicely changed to make it fit really well. So let's click on the Contact Us. And here we have the contact form. So now when a customer has any questions for you, he can directly send you an email, and he can add his email address and his phone number, and you can directly reach out and make sure that your customer is completely satisfied. So I have a couple more things I want to show you. Actually 2, because we already looked at the themes editor when you open it up. I'm pretty sure you will remember this one. So let's move on and take a look at apps. I think this is a really, really cool feature. Apps are basically features that someone else programmed and which you can add to your store. Some of them are free of charge and others you have to pay for, but a lot of the cool ones are actually free. So down here you can, for example, add product reviews to your store. You would just click it, and then you would click Get the App, and everything else will be very, very easy and self-explanatory. But let's actually go back, and I will show you the App Store. So this is very, very similar to the App Store that you probably know from your iPhone or Android device. On this App Store, you can choose apps from all varieties of things, from marketing, over sales, over social media, and you always see some of them are free and some of them cost you some money. So this probably has some free version and also a paid version. But in this case, you can play around with it yourself, but I will also publish a tutorial that will show you some really cool apps later. So let's go back to our store, and there is one more thing that I want to show you, which you can find on the setting page. The setting page basically allows you to change the homepage title and change the name of your store and many, many other things. But you also find many different options on the side over here. So for example, you can add more payment methods, or you can change your shipping options. So you can determine how much your customer has to pay for shipping to a specific country. You can also add taxes. One other cool feature are the notifications. So here you can change all the email templates. So whenever someone bought something on your store, they will receive an order confirmation. And you can actually change the design. So for example, this one would start with, "Oh, thank you for placing your order with our shop name." But you can also add your customer's first name. So you could say, "Hi, name," which would automatically include your customer's name in the first row. So it would be, "Hi, Peter, thank you for placing your order with whatever your store name is." I think this gives you a pretty good idea. So we want to save it like this. Another important feature are the order notifications. So these are notifications that you receive whenever someone ordered something on your store. By default, you will receive an email, but I think another cool option is to receive a text message on your phone. So let's go ahead and add our phone number. In my case, I don't want to add my phone number because I'm not going to use the store, but you would obviously enter your information and select your provider. And then you click Add Notification to receive the text message whenever someone orders something in your store. The webhooks are more for advanced users. Maybe I will show you in a later tutorial what you can do with this, but for now, let's leave it just out of this tutorial. Next, we take a look at files. Here you can upload videos or images and other documents that you want to show on your store. You can add those in your pages using the page editor and just attaching a file like you would in your email. The last entry is the account, and here you can change the plan type if you run out of storage or you decide, oh, I want to change from the starter plan to the professional or the unlimited plan. You can do this on this side. You can also add additional members to your staff. So if you're working on your store with multiple people, you can add in their information and you can determine their roles. So you can give them admin access, or maybe you just want to allow them to create blog postings. I hope this gives you a pretty good idea of how Shopify works. I think it's a great solution and I hope you have fun playing around with it. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. You can find my email address on my website, which you can find in the YouTube description. Or you can follow me on Twitter, contact me on Facebook.